Yes. So I'm assuming that means, Cliff, you can hear and see me okay, loud and clear. Thank you, guys. All right, I'm going to turn this chat off for just a little bit while I go over everything. And then I'll allow you guys to ask any and all questions you have about the new auction partnership network that we've got running here. A lot of questions came in this afternoon. Really excited. Thanks, guys. Awesome. I'm up and I apologize. It's poor lighting, but we have some visitors at the house tonight. So Lima Charlie, loud and clear. Thank you, Jeremy. We have some visitors to the house tonight. So I'm doing this up in the bonus room. So let me go ahead and take chat off for just a second. Again, guys, we're going to concentrate this webinar. The next webinar is going to be the normal, wide open, any questions about any program you've gotten from us or even pre-purchase at that point. But this one in particular is about the auction, the new auction program, the auction partnership network that we've got going. I'm hoping that a lot of you guys watched the video we put together on YouTube, and that we also included in the email out there today, so you get a better idea of exactly what we're doing. But I did miss quite a bit, and I had some really good questions on it, so I'm going to cover those. And 5 steps. So it's covering due diligence. That's the first thing you're going to need to do when you get the program. And guys, this is a big girl, big boy program. This is going to be some work, but the payout on this, if you really plug into the profit, we've got actually a profit worksheet. If you really plug into that, especially if you're doing this on your own, the payout is insane. We're doing it for 2 reasons. I brought this up in the video earlier. One is we are on the cusp. 3rd and 4th quarter of this year, I foresee a foreclosure wave. Now, we're in a unique situation, right? We're going to have this massive foreclosure wave coming up, primarily, by the way, not what you think, primarily tax, but still some mortgage also, from folks that went into forbearance and now they're too far behind to get caught up, and some other issues we have going on. We're also looking at a huge eviction rate coming up. That is going to be interesting to watch and see how that shakes out. We also have a shortage of everything: wood, asphalt shingles, fencing, anything home related, anything construction related. We have a shortage for a number of reasons that I'm not going to go into, but because of that, the price of building a home has gone up so fast that the resale is following it. You guys are seeing that now, right? Most of you guys are in metro statistical areas or close to them where they have maybe 3 weeks worth of inventory on the market at any given time. That's it. And that's nowhere near what it should be for demand. A healthy market, a healthy real estate market is 3 to 6 months in inventory. Seriously. Right now, we're at Charlotte, last time I checked, was 18 days. That's ridiculous. That and the fact that new construction is so high now, and that's driving this the resale up, nobody can find a deal. So even though we're going to have a massive foreclosure wave coming, it's going to be absorbed by the people, or I should say through the people that know how to handle that foreclosure wave. You guys are going to be at the leading edge, and I love that we're coming up with now. Jeff and I went back and forth on this last month. We were going to wait till maybe the end of July, early August. No, we want you guys in front of it now, and the reason is the first step is due diligence. Okay, so once you get the program, and I want you to hear me out on how to handle this, okay? Once you get the program, you're going to want, and we tell you how to do this, you're going to want to go into the courthouse. You're going to want to go and check. This is our auction, and I'll get into the bundle in a second, but this is our auction network, okay? This is our auction flip bundles coming up too. This is what we're launching right now, and this is exactly what you need to be doing right now. Our other programs are great. Our surplus funds program is recession proof. Our deed flip 30 program is great. Our national deed flip, I just paid a guy $5,700. Okay, we made over 38 grand on the last flip up in Hickory 2.5 weeks ago. Just sent him a check. He made a check at over $5,700. That's how successful our programs are, guys. You've seen the testimonials. So the due diligence, the main thing with that, I give you a bidder profile sheet, and you start going to these. You go to these auctions, check them out, start talking to the people there. Not hard to do, guys. And you don't have to be in a 3-piece suit, okay? The majority of guys that I know that go to these things are in dress slacks at the max, maybe shorts even, and t-shirts. That's not important. The second, after you understand what's going on in your local county or municipality, I say that because a lot of the foreclosures are also handled by cities, or you get into, for instance, Louisiana, you got parishes. So the second step is to secure the funding. And this is where this system shines. We're going to teach you, if you have your own money, use our program to flip it as is, where is, make a ton of money. Okay. We're teaching you how to target these properties. Or if you don't have money, we'll teach you not only how to get the bid money from investors, but we're also teaching you guys how to get the initial bid deposit from investors or friends or family or whatever you need to get it from. We're going to teach you all of that. As far as the investor on the back end purchasing it, we are building a network with this. We do have, it's in the ebook. You can you sign up if you'd like to invest with us. Minimum investment is $12,000. It's secured by, we will literally collateralize your investment against the property with a security deed. So, we can't sell it without paying you. It's probably one of the strongest investment collateralization vehicles I've seen. Where to find the investors, we tell you that. How to get the cash from them. We're talking about, I give you everything, guys. The prospectus to give to investors. And here's the cool thing with the prospectus. Nobody else is doing this. So we're teaching you with the prospectus, you can either be a bird dog for these investors and say, look, I'm going to bid, get it, and I'm going to sign it to you, and you're going to pay me back my initial bid and X amount of dollars. Guys, right now, bird dogs on that are making anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000 per deal, depending on the deal, how good the deal is. So that's outrageous. I got a friend, all he's doing is flipping properties that he wins the bids on, and he's making over 10 grand a deal consistently. No kidding. So that's the first one. The second one is, and this is where your wholesalers are going to get a kick out of this. The other agreement we've put together for you in a prospectus form, you can give them either one, but the other agreement you can work with on the investor is to also get a power of attorney and manage this flip for them. In other words, you can either buy it in your name, have them buy the bid from you, and then you've got power of attorney to manage the flip and take care of that and get a percentage of the profit on the back end. So that your money guys are just money guys, which is what my money guys are. My investors are just investors. They're giving me money to do what I need to do, and they know I can do it well. Because we're giving you the prospectus, and because we're giving you a profit worksheet on this, and because we're telling you exactly how to position this property and basically sell it to investors, you're not going to have any problem flipping it to an investor, either as a bird dog, or even if you want to stay on board and manage that, or if you want to work with us and flip it to us. If it's in a county that allows for that, we need to have 5 days between you winning the bid and the bid full amount being done. If you want to use us, our investors aren't going to need this kind of time, and you're certainly not going to need it. Or if you get investors locally, you don't need it. But if you're going to use us, we can do it in about 5 days, easy, no problem, and we'll give you a percentage of our net on the back end. Okay? Of course, we have parameters, guys, but partner up. Your investors, guys, we're creating this network as we go. Again, the minimum we take from investors, 12 grand. You can take as little as 10. And the majority of this stuff is low-hanging fruit. You want the junk. You want the stuff when you drive by, you kind of wince, okay? The one I just did in Hickory, the lady had, there was a stepdaughter in it. She had stolen the heat pump. The back of the house, which was actually the side from looking from the street, all the soffit was destroyed off the edge of it. I was able to see it. Okay, this was in a deed flip situation, but I was able to see exactly what needed to be done in there and actually talk to the person that was squatting there. And I wouldn't recommend you walk up on somebody, but still I was able to do all that. And it was a piece of junk. It cost me $2,000 just to haul off all the junk in the yard and inside the house. It was borderline hoarders, and I still netted 38 grand in a matter of weeks. So that's the kind of deal you can structure not only with our deed flipping programs, and I'll get to the bundles we're going to offer, which is crazy, but also in this foreclosure, the foreclosure auction network. So, or auction, I should say, network. Let me get into this. Some instances where we position, we will buy the properties. Okay, the prospectus to investor is included, option take up front. There's a limited power of attorney to give you the ability to do that. We also give you the promissory note it'll take to get the bid deposit if you need that. we go into, I'm obviously reading, right? I want to make sure I don't miss anything. Targeting property, and quickly, I want to go back real quick. When you're looking at your due diligence, there is a bidder profile sheet that teaches you how to profile all the other bidders in these auctions, so you know how to negotiate, you know how to bid against them, I should say, because it basically puts them under different classifications, the type of bidders that are out there. It goes into that quite a bit. So you have bidding strategies as well. Targeting the property, we tell you where to look. Obviously, you're not going to be in the middle of most main metro statistical areas. You're going to be in outlying areas. These days, people are willing to drive, thank goodness, a little further. A lot of that has to do with people who are working from home or partially from home. So you can go further out from that metro statistical area and still find property. In fact, you're finding a lot more property for a reasonable amount at the auction, a really good amount, actually, a steal. You can find a lot of property there, and you can flip it. There are less investors to flip it to, but also the investors in the outlying areas tend to be, on average, not true of all areas, but on average, a little less savvy. So it's easier for you to be the one that gets it at the actual auction and then to flip it. The profit worksheet is huge. It goes into, basically, it teaches you how to figure out what profit you want to make and use that along with value of the property and discounted value of the property. It goes into it at length. But use those values to determine what you're going to bid. Guys, you make the money on the buy. Remember that, if nothing else from this video. What you buy it for determines what your net profit is, period, the end. So we're teaching you how to target the properties that you really want. And again, low-hanging fruit is the way to go on this. Let's see, how to determine the highest bid, make based on profit you want. The bidding strategy is in the actual bid section. We go into that at length. It's about 73 pages, guys. You get a 73-page, well, currently, I think it's 73, page PDF. It's an overview, a step-by-step. Boom, 5 steps. Take these steps, and you're going to be successful, period. Step-by-step summary and overview, and that has a link. Of course, it includes support, email-based support with Jeff, twice a month live webinars, but it also has in there a link to video. I've got videos on each of these main points. Has that. Contractor agreements in there, or if it isn't, it will be shortly. A lot of information on the actual ebook, though, and obviously the resources page will build as we go. Also, if you want to invest with us, our return, if it's a property that we're flipping, our return is 15% if we flip it in under 6 months. Our return, if it takes us longer than 6 months, if, for instance, it's in a redemption state, if it takes us longer than 6 months, we jack that up to 25% for investors. That's a big deal, guys. You're not going to find that in the market. So we also have a lot of appendices. Jeff worked his tail off on that. I got to give my hat off to that. Jeff does most of that type of work, and he does a phenomenal job. He's a nuts and bolts guy, and his nuts and bolts hold our stuff together. Now, what we're also doing in addition to this program, okay, is going to be $347 for like the first 25. You guys that have been around for a while, you know it's going to be gone in 15 minutes, starting 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you go to the site surplusfundsriches.net, N-E-T, surplusfundsriches.net. If you go to that site, there are banner ads on every one of those pages that you can click on starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. on Friday, tomorrow, and you can buy the ebook. It'll be $347 for the first 25. That'll be done in 5, 10, 15 minutes. Then it'll be $397 for a short amount of time. And then I'm not sure if we're going to leave it on over the weekend at $497. I know that eventually this is going to be one of those books you're not going to be able to buy on your own. It's too powerful. We want to limit competition, and we're probably going to put it in bundles only. Okay. So let's talk about the bundle you can also get. So that was $347, right? What Jeff and I decided to do is, a lot of you guys are new, or a lot of you guys have only been working the overage side, and you want this, but you also want something where it's more partnership based, where you're doing part of the work and letting it go, and it's not, the parameters are a little looser or different. And because of that, we included in this bundle a total of 6 programs. 2 of them you can partner with us on. Okay, one is, of course, the auction network. Okay. Our auction partnership network, which is what we're selling. The second one is the national deed flip, which you go after property pre-tax or mortgage foreclosure, research debt and ownership. You don't have to research debt and ownership, guys, on the auction partnership network. You don't. You're going to need to probably check for IRS tax liens while you're in the courthouse. You can do that in 5 minutes, but you don't have to research debtor ownership at all. Everything's kicked out. We just want to know if the IRS tax lien is there against the property. We want to know if it's there, because if it is, what we need to know, we're going to have to wait 4 months. IRS lien gets kicked out, but they're allowed to wait, depending on the state, up to 4 months to redeem it. In other words, buy it back. They never do. So we'll still buy it if there's an IRS lien. We just need to know about it. That's all. And we'll still be able to sell it fast enough to be under 6 months. Most of our stuff is going to sell once we put it on the market in 2 to 3 weeks. That's been pretty much the norm. But we have the deed flip, the national deed flip, that pays 15% of our net. You research debt and ownership, turn that into us. These are all the books in the bundle. Turn that into us. We find the people, put the deal together, hire the mobile notary, record the deed, hire, oh good Lord, do any repairs we need to stabilize the property, insure the property, pop it on the market, sell it as is to an investor and get 15% of our net. Our average net has been over $30,000. We are about to pick one up. By the way, the one in Hickory, congrats, Roger L. That was you on that. There's another one. I'll be announcing the name, the first name and last initial shortly, but we're picking it up in Alpha, Florida, of all places, the middle of the panhandle. But national deed flip, it pays 15% of our net. The deed flip 30 pays 30%, but you also have to find them and call them. You do not have to find or call anybody with the Auction Partnership Network, guys. Nobody. The fourth one I want to cover is really kind of cool, and we haven't talked about this in a long time. It's called the Zero Competition Auctions book, and it gives 2 options on how to make money on underwater property. I said it, where there's more debt against it than it's worth. This is going after property that's going into HOA or condo foreclosure. Now, in that instance, what we do is we make a deal. If it's we make sure it's owner occupied. They're just playing chicken with the HOA. Nobody's going to show up at that auction. The investors have already checked and said, whoa, there's a $180,000 mortgage, there's a $30,000 equity line, and there's $10,000 owed to the HOA, and it's worth $100,000. I'm not going to bid on this. You can bid on it. You go after the property that's owned by the owner's still in there. Here's the deal. You bid on it, win the bid, usually for next to nothing. Most HOA liens are $3,000 to $5,000 max. So you win that bid. Now that it's your property. Now it's got all that debt against it. And HOAs in most states don't have a priority lien. Just the mortgage was asleep at the wheel, right? So you go to the owner and you go, look, I paid $3,500 for this. I don't want to kick you out. I want you to stay. What I want is I want the $3,500 in the next month, and then I want you to pay me $200 or whatever you want, $200, $300 a month, whatever you want to ask them for a year. At the end of the year, I will sign the deed back to you. I'll put all this in writing. What do you say? Everybody does it. Why? Because between their mortgage payment or mortgage payments and that monthly fee, that is still less money, guys, still less money than if they have to get out and rent somewhere else. They're going to take it all day long, okay? And they're not going to be able to get a mortgage. They're going to have to rent, and rents are so high that they're going to take that all day long. And guys, we've had people send us Christmas cards at the end of that year period thanking us for saving them. No kidding. No kidding. So that's an insanely profitable program. And the cool thing with that is it's called Zero Competition Auctions for a reason. Nobody's showing up at the auction against you. The other one is Flip Pro. Now, Flip Pro is designed for those of you guys that are going to want to fix it up. Okay, fix a property, fix and flip it. It goes into a lot of detail. Basically, it's information that I've learned being around flippers since 1993. I started in real estate, really started working with flippers probably about 97, and didn't get out of the business completely until about 2006, 2007. Flatbroke Flipper is a very similar program. These are the 6 programs we're including for $697. It's a stupid deal. I would guess $2,200, $2,400 worth of programs. Jeff could tell you better at least. Flatbroke is interesting because it's teaching you how to go after property outside of your area, researching debt and ownership with a couple of the techniques on using, for instance, mobile notaries to double check and get pictures of the property for you and that type of thing. I know there's a lot more I can go into on this, but I think what I'm going to do now is go ahead and open this up because I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of questions on this new program. One of the things I want to warn you about is one of the things that's happened before I open the chat up. One of the things that's happened in the past is people have said, hey, I want, I'm thinking about this, but I need to have a question answered. And they'll call me at 7 o'clock in the evening right before the sale, and I won't call them back because I'm doing something else. And then later they'll say, well, can't I still get it at that price? And no, you can't. We're just guys, we blow this app quickly. We always do it that way. And this is one where I'm excited because I feel like we're setting you up to start to really pound this out, probably in July, as early as July. And I want the pros on this. I want the people, when I say pros, I want people that are dedicated to this, that aren't afraid of risk, and that are ready to make a real difference, guys. I mean, there's a reason Robert Kiyosaki is extremely well known out there, talking about using other people's money to make money in real estate. It's because that's what works. All right, I'm going to open up chat. I appreciate that, Jeff, giving him the heads up. Oh, good. You've got the thing right there. The website link. All right. Chat is now enabled. And if you guys could fire away with your questions, bring them on. I'm ready for it. If you couldn't tell, I'm excited about this. Jeff keeps telling me to just calm down. But this is way outside of what we're used to doing. I did a lot of this previously, but as far as partnering with people, this is way outside. This program is only for live auction. Frank, yeah, the normal, you're going to have to go to that. You're going to have to go to the county, Frank, to do this. I suppose you could use it for online. The problem that we found with the online ones, well, I guess you could use it as an online auction, as long as you've set up your investors to take advantage of being able to assign the bid or have them cover the bid for you quick enough. So let me walk that back. You could do live ones. You got to be careful. You got to have enough time. If you don't have the money to do it yourself, you have to have enough time to flip it to your investor. Can I partner with you on multiple of your programs? Steve, yeah, anything that's a partnership program. Deed Flip 30, National Deed Flip, our overage programs, National Surplus Funds, Premier 16, which is a 16% surplus funds program. Anything where it says that it is an actual partnership program, you can do. I'm in Miami. That's great. I own a mortgage company. Frank, great. Then you're going to understand where we're at. And Frank, you probably have run across guys with money. You're probably going to have no problem getting in touch with the hard money guys. And you heard the percentages I gave early, 15% for under 6 months, 25 for over. Sounds like high numbers, but you know as well as I do, that's, first of all, it's not going to eat into your profit if you buy this stuff at the lower rate. And you know plenty of guys with money in their pocket for that, Frank. Yvette, so you don't need to research debt and ownership or need microbill. Absolutely not, Yvette. We do not have to contact the owner. No owner contact. You're getting it. Now people are starting to get excited. Crystal, I'm in Florida. All the counties seem to have pay the day or next day after auction. Will that work with the investors? Crystal, we're still building our investor network. I'm not kidding you, 8 people already knocking my door down, throwing money at me, so I'm not worried about ours. I'm not sure exactly where they are. I can tell you this, though, Florida, Crystal, Florida is the center. There's a ton of money guys and hard money guys down there. I just don't see you having a problem hooking up with an investor down there. Gene, I live in the country, not a huge county. Good. That's our target market. Have 2. Okay. How do I find out if mine is valid with you guys before I purchase? Thank you. No problem, Gene. Well, first of all, even if it's pay in a day, we teach you how to get your local investors involved. So as far as that goes, you shouldn't have an issue. If you're saying, is it valid because you just want to use us, I would say, guys, and I've said this in an earlier video, the military has a saying, 1 is none, 2 is 1. Always have 2 people set up to work with, right? Because it might not meet our parameters, even though we tell you what they are. It might not. It might not be something they're willing to take, so you always need to have a second person set up. And by the way, we teach you how to get the bid deposit money too. I mean, it's not hard to do, get that. It's not a whole lot. Usually it's 5% or a minimum dollar amount. But go ahead and get in touch with the county and say, listen, upcoming mortgage or tax foreclosures, okay, how fast do I need? Just call them tomorrow. How fast, if I win the bid, how fast do I have to pay the rest of the bid in addition to my deposit? And they'll just tell you. A lot of times, you can go right on their websites. Go to the county websites or city websites. I say municipalities or cities because sometimes cities and municipalities also hold foreclosures. And guys, this wave is going to be huge. What it's going to do is set you guys up to get deals, because the fat cats that are sitting in there right now that are ruling the roost, they're not going to have the money or the time to cover all of it. Yes, the hedge funds can do it, but those guys are really concentrating in the uber large metro statistical areas. So I don't think you're going to have an issue. You pay bid deposit. Yes, you do, David, but we teach you how to get that from an investor if you need it. Frank, exactly. Hard money. Easy. Frank, you know how easy this is to get right now. In fact, let me explain something to you guys, because some of you guys are going, oh, I'm not sure I can get an investor. Right now, the hard money guys are freaking the heck out. They can't find deals. All right? They can't find deals. These investors that are buying the properties for me, when they go to close on it, we usually do a mail away closing. When they do a close on it, their agent calls me and says, listen, my buyer wanted to tell you, if you find anything else, call us first. These guys, it's nuts. What I do, I'll list a property. I kid you not. I will list a property on a Monday, give it a couple days. The offers start coming in Wednesday, Thursday. I tell them, I'm not going to even consider one of these for a while, maybe Sunday. Make sure it's your highest and best. I have yet to sell a property for my asking price. It's above. As is where is. And these hard money guys they can't get anything right now. They will pay whatever you want to make it happen. Plus, a lot of the guys, the investors, what they're doing is they're seeing, again, same thing I told you about earlier. New construction, insane cost just to get lumber, all the rest of it. Resale, following behind it. They're looking at, you know what? Rents are so high. I'm going to pick this up. I don't care if I have to put more money with the fix-up. You guys have seen this. Anybody at these things? No. I don't care if I'm putting more money in the fix-up and the initial buy than it's worth, because my rent's going to more than cover my return. And Frank, you know what I'm talking about, Frank Martinez. Can you work this new partnership program in Oregon? I live in a small town. Absolutely. The only place okay, great question. Okay, so there's a couple of places that I wouldn't want to work this. One is Memphis, just because, guys, it's kind of a nightmare to work that. I ran into that problem before. I'll work any other county. Go to an outlying county. Don't go to Memphis. Go to an outlying county in Tennessee if you're going to work Tennessee. Also, I'm still going to say, I'm going to put my foot down and say there's no way in hell I'm going to work Philadelphia. It's as if a hurricane went through the property market up there. I have no interest in Philadelphia whatsoever, guys. All right. Does Deed Flip 30 include Florida? No, Deed Flip 30 is a different program. You can pick up Florida, the Florida Deed Flip, and also the Florida Surplus Funds Program in the Best of the Best bundle. So when you go to surplusfundsriches.net, our website, instead of clicking on the banner for this new program or all these flip programs that we have a bundle, that's, by the way, that's stupid good price. Instead of those, you can click on our regular products program, click on regular products button, click on Best of the Best bundle, Florida Remote, which is our surplus, and Florida Deed Flip are in there, as well as National Deed Flip, National Surplus, and a Specialty North Carolina program. 5 programs worth about $2,500 on for $847, and I would jump on that. I live in the tri-state area, Philadelphia, New Jersey, and Delaware. Does this program work in any area? Yes, it does, Latanya. It'll work wherever you go. And again, guys, even if you're under 5, one of the things I've batted around is I need 5 days if you're going to use me as an investor. Don't use me as an investor. I'm teaching you how to use other investors. This is a bonus, us saying that we'll buy it. And let me say something I didn't cover before. Those of you guys that are already flipping property, let's say you pick up a property and you got it yourself, right? And you're finding that this is working. This is going to happen. You're finding this is working even better than you thought it was going to work. But you found another deal you want to make a bid on. You got this deal. You're trying to flip it. You're about to flip it. You can go, you know what, Sean? Here's what I got in it. It still meets your parameters. I've already bought it. Will you take it off my plate? Give me the money back I got in it. Will you take it off my plate? And then I can use the money to bid on other stuff and just give me my split on the back end. Absolutely. No problem. That's a big deal, guys. Flippers out there are going, oh my God. Yeah, we have a lot of money behind us. Will your program work in Indianapolis, Indiana? Mike, I don't see an issue with that. Go ahead and check with the county. I'm going to say this again and again to you guys. Check with the county as far as bid times, but you should, listen to me. Indiana has an incredible investor network out there, locals everywhere. Those guys are really on it. You're going to have no problem finding guys to back you up. So I don't think you're going to have an issue with it. I know that somebody in the past, and they're right, brought up that the state of Indiana is going to start limiting the number of properties you can buy in a given year, as an entity. Well, come on, guys. So what? I'll buy it in my girlfriend's name. I'll buy it in Jeff's name. I'll buy it in my name. I'll buy it in my company name. Okay, I set my bylaws up for my company where I'm allowed to buy things in my name on behalf of the company. I'll buy it in my sister's name, my father's name. You get what I'm saying? I'm not concerned about that ridiculous little Indiana thing. All right, Curtis, quick question. These are in person and not online. Well, we teach you, Curtis, how to do this in person. Could you apply this to online using the Profit Worksheet that we've set together for you? Yeah, I think you could, as long as you can make that payment with your investor in time, because you're going to have to put the deposit down. As long as you've got somebody lined up to take that, I don't see an issue. I'm just now digging into National Deed Flip and Deed Flip 30 along with Surplus. Just want to make sure. And you're right, investors are flying out of their state and buying virtually sight unseen above value. Curtis, it's ridiculous what's going on right now. That is why we're launching this now. If you apply it and work it, some counties bid are online only. So yes, that's what Jeff said. That's absolutely correct. There's certain areas in the country where that's the only way you can do it. Could you apply this? Absolutely, you could. Now, are you probably going to be able to apply this and use us as the investor directly, Jeff and I's company? Probably not, because the pay deadline is probably going to be too quick. Some of the investors I picked up may go for it, but keep in mind, Curtis, also, you can also get your own investors. We're teaching you how to do that. Trust me, it's not an issue. Jeremy's agreeing with me. $600 for lumber for just 2 Adirondack chairs. Insane. Jeremy, quick story. This is before it actually blew up even more. I had to board up a property in High Point that I bought next to nothing. Flipped it, made over 30 grand. I literally had under $7,000 in that property and then flipped it for 40. It was stupid. So I went to pick up, I boarded up this a couple months ago, boarded up, and the guy said $155 for 3 pieces of 4x8 plywood. I went, what? I was used to that being like $20, a piece. So that blew my mind. Now it's probably double that. Jeannie, to verify, we cannot do this remote, must go to the courthouse. Thanks. Here's the deal, Gene. If you want to do this, you're still going to have to be local. You can do online bidding, but you don't have to be local. You can do it, as long as you've got an investor set up and where you're bidding, you can do that. It's going to be a lot more difficult, Gene, to not work your area or a surrounding area. Yeah, Curtis, I knew FMV was fair market value. Thank you, though, for that clarification. David Scott, is it trouble to buy in Arkansas? I haven't seen an issue with that, David. Guys, here's the other thing that I want to make clear. Like with surplus funds, we always buy with overages. We always buy them out using a structured buyout agreement. We always use an attorney. That keeps us on the right side of the law, and we don't have to worry about finder laws, which were specifically designed to try to put people out of business. It doesn't affect us at all because of the way we run our business. There is no such law in real estate. The only thing you're going to run into in real estate is if you're, and I need you to listen to me, if you're going to buy and sell in a company name and your company is recorded in another state, you need to record it as a foreign corporation in that state in order to provide clear title. In the meantime, what I did, for instance, with Tennessee, because it was cost prohibitive. My firm is registered in North Carolina. I'm also registered with SunBiz, which is the foreign corporation form in Florida. Bunch of all over the country. I've got, I'm a foreign corporation registered with the state. In Tennessee, I actually rewrote my bylaws because Tennessee is so expensive that it allowed me to buy and sell property in my own personal name. And I did that specifically to avoid paying, I think it was $1,500 for foreign per year for a foreign corporation. It was stupid. Talk about destroying people coming in. But no, to answer your question, I don't think Arkansas is an issue. I bought the Platinum Bundle last month, and it included a coupon. Can I use that coupon to purchase the auction portion, partnership network? Emily, yes, you can. Turn in the coupon in the next day or two. Go to the site. You should see Contact Us, Surplus Funds Riches.net. You should see a Contact Us on there. Once you go to that Contact Us, you'll see the email address. Send that in to me on that email address, and when we launch it, I'll send it out to you. Great call. That's another thing, guys. Those of you guys that are on the fence, I know there's a lot of you in here that haven't purchased from us yet. You're just interested in all the things we've got going on. If you can afford that platinum bundle, it's a lot of money, but it's everything we got. So it turns out to be ridiculously cheap. It also gives you a coupon that you can use on any program we launch in the future. So, Emily, awesome question. Some counties bid are online only, yes. In Georgia, would these also list in the statewide listing site database? Would these also list? We're going to teach you, Jeremy, how to find the mortgage and tax foreclosures through county and third-party sites. Jeff went into some detail on that in there. It's really not hard, guys, to find upcoming foreclosures. I'm assuming that's what you mean. Gene, thank you. You are welcome. Addison, does this work throughout Florida? Now, Florida has, all I've seen is online bidding in Florida, and it's over in like 30 seconds. You put in your top bid. You got to put a deposit to match that top bid. You can put in a lower bid, but then you have like 10 seconds after the next highest bid to up them, and you have to have a deposit to cover that. So it's a little tricky, and it's fast. Florida is actually really good at that. And I think you've got to pay very quickly. I think it's a matter of a day or two. Jeff can certainly correct me. One thing I would tell you, Addison, if you're living in Florida, you're going to have no problem finding hard money guys to back you. You're going to have no issue whatsoever because there's a lot of sharks down there, and they are so hungry right now. It's unbelievable. So you're not going to have a problem working that, and they're going to be ready to stake you if you can pull that off for them. How do you know if a company is a redemption county or not? Uchi, you should be able to see that. Another thing you do is just Google, guys. There we go. Jeff says Florida is a next day pay. Okay. So let's go on to Uchi. How do you know if a county is a redemption county or not? Okay. It's statewide. The redemption periods are statewide. And guys, it's not just redemption, it's post-sale redemption. For instance, Florida says they have a post-sale redemption period. Yeah, but that's only until the bidder pays their bid. So it's really like a day after the sale. Nobody's going to come up with that, okay? Some areas will tell you. So I would Google, for instance, Google by state, not by county. Georgia, Georgia post-sale redemption period. It'll pop up. Same thing with Tennessee, I believe it's a year. South Carolina, I believe it's a year. So those are going to be a little more difficult. Now, listen, it's not going to be hard to flip the property to an investor. They don't care. They'll sit on it. They don't care. If you're flipping it to us, though, we're paying you on the back end net, and we can't sell it until the year's up. So I'm telling you to use your local investors to do that. South Carolina is an example of, I believe, a 1-year redemption period where they can come back and buy it. Texas, depending on homestead or not, has an extended period of time also. So check that out. But you can Google it really, really easy, guys. Don't feel like you're making a shot in the dark. You can check behind me on all this stuff. Philadelphia investors, I have that covered. Good. What area could I partner with you guys? Are you interested in Delaware and New Jersey? Latanya, as long as it meets our parameters for, it's a good enough bid where we can make money and flip it as is, where is, and we've got a worksheet for all this, but we can make money and flip it as is, where is to investors, and we have adequate time. If you're going to partner with us, you're going to have to give us adequate time to come up with the funds, come up with the money to send to you and use an assignment of bid from you. So usually that's 5 business days, right? So that's what's going to be the limiting factor if you want to use us. Now, as far as the investors that we are bringing into this, some of those guys are going to be able to move a little quicker and are going to be a little more, they're going to be able to move a little quicker than we are. So once we build that network, which will take the next month or two, you're welcome to use that. You can also use your own investors. So I don't see an issue. Jeff says you can search all state county laws online with regard to auctions. Rules sometimes differ between counties in the same state. So he's correcting me. I screwed that up. It's different from county to county. He's right. You will be able to know the bid deposit amount, the time to pay, how quickly you have to pay once you've won the bid, guys, the redemption period, all of it should be outlined on there. Jeff, thank you for that. And he's right. There are differences from county to county. We recently bought that property in Hickory. It was in Burke County, North Carolina. They made an interesting change to their laws up there. What I'm used to doing when I do a deed flip, not Auction Partnership Network, but when I'm used to doing a deed flip, I get a quick claim deed from the owner, record that. Once I see that it's recorded okay, I'll pay off the taxes, and then I'll send the money to the owner. And I'm not going to pay off the taxes until I own it, right? And I'm not going to do that until I know that I'm the only person that owns it. The owner didn't transfer it via deed to somebody else, which has happened. I've seen that. I've caught them. So anyway, having said all that, Burke County said you can't record a deed unless any unpaid taxes are paid off. So now what I do is I take that deed, and instances like that, I'll actually drive to the county if it's in North Carolina. And this is the only place I found like that. But I'll actually drive to the county, show them the deed, and go, if I pay off the taxes, does this look recordable to you? Because I want to make sure I haven't made a problem. I'm really good at what I do, but the one thing everybody knows that has been in this business long enough is everyone makes mistakes. So I'm very careful about that. All right, let's keep going. Just paid $75 per sheet for a half-inch sheeting for the roof. Crazy. I'm telling you, Nick, and all that's going to do is keep driving the price up. That's all it's going to do. These foreclosures, this is why the foreclosures are going to get absorbed, and it's not going to knock down value. We have the buyers. We have the investors. The hard money guys are hard up right now. They're going crazy trying to find deals. And we have a market where new construction is ridiculously high in comparison to old. Obviously, dirt, God isn't making any more dirt, is something we used to say in real estate. So, the lots themselves are also crazy going up in value. Yvette, just checked my county, and there's only 2 properties listed for sale. Awesome. And these are mortgage foreclosures. That's great. But you're saying that more should be hitting the auction block in July, correct? Yes. And Yvette, don't just work your county. Guys, listen to me carefully. Listen to me carefully. Most people, okay, that are working a system like this are going to work a region. For instance, I'm in Mecklenburg County. Charlotte's in that. I happen to live in Mint Hill. My company is in Cabarrus County, Concord, North Carolina. About a half a mile away. I will go past Concord all the way up to Salisbury, and I'm still dealing with guys driving an hour driving into Charlotte from the Salisbury and China Grove area. I'm still dealing with that, people driving all the way down from there. I can go north all the way to almost Statesville, North Carolina. I can go west past Gaston County, okay? I can go south past Union County. I can go into Fort Mill, South Carolina, and I'm still drawing within an hour pool. And I'm looking at, I think, 8 counties if I add all that up, at least. So do not, Yvette, great question, do not get caught up in just working one. All right, Indiana has 1 year redeemable. How would this process work? So, Sean, what I would say is to definitely, and this is why I'm so proud of how we made the prospectus. The prospectus we're giving you gives different options that you can throw at an investor. In your situation, Sean, I wouldn't work with us or even probably our investors. I would work with an investor local and bird dog it. And believe me, plenty of those guys will give you 5, 10, 15 grand, depending on the value of the property per deal. Just bird dogging it. All you're doing is assigning the bid over to them. You have a pre-done, you have a prospectus that they've signed. They understand how it works, and they have to have the money ready, obviously, really quick. Yep. By the way, guys, you have at least 2 guys ready, right? I've said this before. At least 2 guys ready that you think might be good investors, because there's always a wannabe out there. But trust me, Sean, you're not going to have a problem finding hard money. Join some, one of the things I say in the ebook too, get involved with some clubs, start talking to the guys. I even tell you how to approach them, All right. John, greetings. How similar is this new program to the zero competition auction? That's a great question, John, because zero competition is actually going in person to bid. This one, again, I'm walking it back. It's mostly going to work on in person. You could probably tweak it to work online. The difference is, John, zero competition is going after property that's underwater that's being sold in an HOA or a condo association foreclosure. And it's a way to make money even though there's more debt against it than it's worth. That's a great little program. Cool little niche program. Had a lot of people say they made a lot of money with that. This one's a little different. It's a lot wider. You're going after tax and mortgage foreclosures. That's a hell of a lot bigger niche. There was a tax redemption in Indiana on average 1 year. There you go. That works, David. Use, guys, again, think about how powerful this is. You're doing a hit and run. You're not buying this stuff and holding on to it. You're not trying to work with us and have to wait a year because the redemption period is going to come up. Use the prospectus we give. Use the prospectus that we give you that's going to allow you to flip this thing immediately. Just bird dog it 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever you want to make on that and whatever they're willing to pay. And you got the hit. They're the one that's going to have to wait till the redemption period's over in order to flip it. Jeff says Florida is next day pay. Yep. I'm in Southern California. The home skyrocketed. Will this work for my area? Cynthia, probably. I would say you're going to want to work in California. Is good and bad. It's fantastic because, again, a lot of money around you. You're not going to have a problem flipping this stuff to investors at all. But California, there's good and bad with California. The bad I've got with California, well, the good is you guys are having a crazy amount of mortgage foreclosures, okay, just like everyone else. And there's a ton of them starting to pile up. That log jam is about to break, guys. That's what you're going to be going after primarily, because what I've seen in California is the majority of the counties have only annual tax deed sales. And guys, you're not going after tax liens. You're going after property. You're going after foreclosures, mortgage foreclosures, condo and HOA foreclosures, third-party foreclosures, right? Lien holders in those states where that's allowable. You're also going after tax deed sales, tax sales where they're selling the property. They're not selling the lien. Don't be confused. How do you get around the right to redeem? Latanya, we don't. And I'll tell you why it's not an issue. If they didn't have the money prior to the sale, it's extremely rare that they have the money after the sale. So great question, but I just don't have an issue with that. Also, some states, you not only have to pay taxes, you got to pay the high bidder back, which makes it even more rare that they will ever redeem property post-sale. Great question. Georgia's 1 year. You're absolutely right, Brian. So again, I'd bird dog the snot out of this. Addison, thanks. How about California, Gene? I think you asked that after I answered that. Jeff, you can search all state county laws online with regard to auctions, okay? Rules sometimes differ between counties in the same state. He's making sure that everybody got this. You will be able to know bid deposit amount, time to pay, redemption. The redemption for Arkansas is outrageous, David. Yeah, and let me tell you what's great about that, though, David. First of all, they know that the people are not going to redeem. But secondly, it's really easy to flip. And I've seen a lot of great growth in Arkansas, surprising great growth in Arkansas. What are typical bids going for at an auction? Okay, so Yvette, remember what you're most concerned with. Oh, good. First of all, Jeff is answering David before I get to Yvette. From my research, Arkansas law, you can redeem within 10 days. That's it. So that's fantastic. You want a low post-sale redemption period, guys. What are typical bids going for at the auction? This is Yvette. It depends. I tell you to try to go after stuff that's under 250,000. Even better, get under 100 if you're in an area where that's possible, which means your bid is typically 5%. Guys, in North Carolina, I pick up stuff all the time, or I used to pick up stuff all the time at auction for just above minimum bid, 20, 30 grand, which means my minimum bid was $1,000, $1,500 deposit. I can get that from my brother if I need it. And believe me, in the past, I have. I've gone to family or friends. My ex-wife used to be a chemical engineer, and we would tap her 401k because you can loan against that. All kinds of ways to find money for that kind of stuff, guys. And I wouldn't have to hold it long. I could flip it really fast. Sean, Indiana has a 1 year redeemable for owner. What would their percent be? Sean, for investors, I give an investor 15% on their money if they give me the money to buy one of these properties and I sell it in under 6 months. I give them 25% if it takes me over 6 months. I'm assuming that's what you're asking me. Curtis, Sean is straight up transparent and gives you realistic goals to attain if you put the work in. Thank you, Curtis. I wish I was paying you for this. It's not easy, which is exactly one of the things that drew me in. But I know it's well worth it in the end as long as I do my part. I haven't come across, oh good, Jeff's putting this up. As long as I do my part, I haven't come across anyone else that tells it like it is without any fluff. And thank you, Jeff, for the time and commitment also that you put into this. Yeah, guys, just so you know, I handle pre-purchase questions. I handle the attorneys when we're dealing overage recovery. I handle the realtors and the buyers agents and stabilizing the property and the insurance companies and all that stuff. Jeff handles the front line. Okay, and that's why he's a very big part of all these books. We write these together. Okay, Jeff is the one. He puts the bolts in to keep the whole thing together. He's the one that handles all of the support. Okay, because he's handling that front line, and he handles when deals are turned in. He underwrites the deals as they're turned in. How much will the auction in-house network cost, or is it included in 347 intro price? Thanks. Okay, so it's the auction. Now you got me all messed up. It's APN. Good Lord. Auction Partnership Network. That is the 347 intro price. The bundle, there you go. The bundle is going to cover 6 different programs, which will, and guys, by the way, you can go to the site between now and when this thing launches to make sure to see if you want to get the bundle instead of just this. It'll include this, but for $697, you're getting 6 programs. If you go to the products page right now, okay, not the special, but I know if you go to the regular products page at the bottom, once you get to that products page at the bottom is an overview of all of our programs. So see what, if you think it's worth it, it's worth it. Jeff says, guys, you probably read this already. Remember, you want to research tax deed sales. This program is not for tax lien certificate sales. That's a big deal. All right. Yeah, I said that earlier, but I'm not sure I said it correctly. Neil, so if I'm in Raleigh, would I be competing against you? No, Neil, here's the deal. We don't compete against you guys. The only deals we're going to put together on this is if you send them into this. This is another reason why we fought about opening up a partnership and an investor network for this, because Jeff and I have always decided we are not going to compete against you guys. The only deals we're going to work from this point forward, okay, in auctions, or if they're sending from you guys, or our investors can do it instead, the guys that are going to be in our network. So no, it's a great question, Neil. We don't compete against our guys with overages or flips. We only work stuff that's turned in by our network members. Angela, how does this quiet title action, what a great question. How does the quiet title action factor in to this program? Do you get any pushback from the investors on having to wait out the 1-year redemption period? I'm in Georgia. Plus, then having to do the foreclosure, and then, whoa, you're not getting this. You just threw me off. It disappeared. Well, I've completely lost my spot. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. I don't know what just happened. All right, I'm sorry. You're going to need to re-ask me that. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what the heck happened. In Indiana, if the home has been deemed abandoned or vacant, Indiana law, then it cannot be redeemed. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that, David. That's great. No post-sale redemption period. David, from my research in Arkansas, this is a different David. You can redeem within 10 days. Great question from C. Is there a possibility of getting burned and losing out on the zero bids program by buying these properties underwater? Usually not, C. That's zero competition auctions, okay? So what you're doing in that instance, and I'm going to try to avoid going into these other programs and tell you to go to surplusfundsriches.com and read the info on the other programs in the bundle, because I'm trying to stay on Auction Partnership Network. But usually not because the owner's living there, and it's usually not an issue for you. Brian, is a bird dog to invest the same or different than a signable purchase and sale agreement? It's very similar, Brian, but we use a prospectus, and depending on how you want to structure it, either a limited power of attorney to allow you to manage or facilitate selling that, or just a straight up, yes, you can assign it. Absolutely. Assign bids to them. It's a signable purchase or sale agreement. The difference is that you're actually the owner via either winning the bid, not quite the owner yet, but almost, right? You've got the bid. Nobody else can get it until you default. So you're the one in the way, and you're the one that's going to get paid. Daryl, what is the best way to find HOA foreclosures? We go in, Daryl, into finding, basically I can tell you that HOA foreclosures and condo association foreclosures are usually lumped in with mortgage foreclosures. It's the same statutes in most states. So we will tell you how to find mortgage and mortgage foreclosures, and there shouldn't be any issue working with that. Emily, still reading through ebook material and learning lingo. Haven't come across bird dog. What does that mean? You've said this a few times, trying to follow. Thanks, Emily. That's for the new program, the Auction Partnership Network, not for anything we've yet sold. Guys, this is Jeff. Remember, you want to research tax deed sales. This program is not for tax lien certificate sales. We can't say that enough. We're not buying a tax lien. We're buying the property at sale. Big difference. Thank you, Jeff, from Latanya. Can you please, Latanya, go over all the programs in the bundle? Surplusfundsriches.net. Click on products. Go down to the bottom. You'll see a list of all the programs and what they are, the 6 programs you're going to get. And this will also be, guys, if you go to the banner at the top of the page, surplusfundsriches.net, click on that banner, and you'll see the bundle with the programs in it, which is the Auction Partnership Network, Deed Flip 30, National Deed Flip, Zero Competition Auctions, Flip Pro, and Broke Flipper. Basically $2,500 worth of programs for $697. You don't have to buy that whole thing. You can buy just this program. People keep quoting me on the $347. That's for the first 25 buyers. After that, it jumps up to $397 for I don't know how long, probably a short period of time, and then up to $497. And then we're probably going to only allow it in bundles. This is probably going to be the hottest thing we've got going into end of third, beginning of fourth quarter. What issues do I need to be aware of? Work Phoenix, Arizona area. I'm not aware of any, Chase up. But again, you guys can get in touch with the county and check about redemption periods and how long you have to pay bids. Oh, here you go. Jeff gave you guys a link. Click on that. That's the new program, and it's got a lot of information. You can do that now, guys. Surplusfundsriches.net/new program sale. Okay. What issues do I need? Is the bundle sale for one day? Pamela, I doubt it'll be there past Friday, but it may be up for another day if you have a high risk tolerance. So, Angela, how does the quiet title, there it is, action factor into this program? Do you get any pushback from investors on having to wait out the 1-year redemption period? I'm in Georgia, plus then having to do the foreclosure. You're not getting this right, okay? You're buying it at foreclosure. You're not buying tax liens, Angela. You're buying the property at the foreclosure. The foreclosure is what you're buying it out, so you don't have to do a foreclosure at that instance. You're not buying tax liens. Guys, get this through your heads. You're not buying tax liens, okay? As far as a quiet title, you're welcome to give that a shot. That varies from state to state. That can reduce your redemption time. I just don't count on it, okay? Mike, guys, I just Googled this. Is there a right of redemption in Indiana? No, Indiana doesn't have a post-sale statutory right of redemption, which allows a party whose property has been foreclosed to reclaim that property by making payment in full the sum of the unpaid loan costs. There is a pre-sale right to redeem after the issuance of yeah, absolutely, Mike. I've never seen a state where you're not allowed to redeem, pay off the taxes or the mortgage and stop the sale prior to the sale. But in post-sale, it's about half and half. But nice. I appreciate you sharing that with us. Brian, in my area, whether it's a live auction or online, you still have 3 weeks to view and check out the property. So if I send the investors photos and all the info they need on the property, why can't they commit to pay for the property at the end of the sale, whether it's in 3 hours or 1 day? Brian, if you've got that time from when you win the bid, then absolutely that's not an issue. I agree. Mike T, will this impact me? Indiana, yeah, it's a good thing if they don't have a post-sale redemption, Mike. Can we purchase now? Latanya, I know. We like doing this at a set time because then we can monitor how many are being sold. We don't like using systems because we've had issues with those in the past. We literally monitor us ourselves. We see the 25th sale. We're done. We're up in the price immediately. So unfortunately, no, it's a live situation. It officially launches Friday, May the 28th. That's tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, that's it. We're out of time for the evening. What a bunch of great, now listen, you can call me. Bunch of great questions. Tomorrow, between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. Eastern time. Still got questions? Give me a ring. 704-791. There should be a replay of this as well. 704-791-9398. And guys, that's 9 to 1 tomorrow, okay? You can go to the site. Jeff gave you the link, surplusfundsriches.net. You can see the new program sale. You can see the link he's giving you right now. Click that now. Stop listening to me and click that and go there. But you can also see my phone number on the website. Click that link or copy and paste it into your browser right now. surplusfundsriches.net/new program sale. If you can't, go to surplusfundsriches.net. Go to the top of the page. There's a banner. Click on that. Guys, I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. And regardless of your decision, I appreciate you coming out. I appreciate the great questions. And I really hope to be working with you guys and partnering up with this. Thanks.